Hey, I'm Andy. Welcome to the Cardinal Treatment Center in Portsmouth, Ohio.
So, Andy, what do you do?
I am the housing director here at Cardinal Treatment Center.
So we interviewed Tyler, is it Tara?
Tyler and Tara.
Were the housing supervisors.
Yes.
So what does the housing director do?
Well, the
What's
housing
the big
directors actually supervise the housing supervisors.
boss?
It's basically, we are a team. Exactly what they said yesterday during our interview is really exactly what happens. We're three totally different people, come from totally different backgrounds. They come together and solve problems, and it's really, really neat how we come together when we do that. The personalities that come in, the way we work through the problem, everything like that. I mean, it's inspiring sometimes about how they do things, and I like to do that. So,
Give us an example of how you guys triage.
problem comes. I'm usually the calm one. I don't get excited about much with my background. I've gone through a lot of different things, so I'm usually the one that can just stay at the ground level and work through the problems. Tyler is learning that. He's getting very, very, very good at it, but he sometimes has a knee-jerk reaction to things. But he's starting to think about things and do everything that you're supposed to do as a supervisor position. And Tara's doing the same thing, but Tara, as she told you, she's more hype about it. She wants to do something right then about it without thinking sometimes. So we all come together. We throw the ideas together about what we think needs to happen. And at that time, usually we all come to the same conclusion, and then that's what we do.
Now, how is having a background in law enforcement for 20 plus years affected? But how does that influence how you look at things?
Well, not only with law enforcement, it's been right around 30. I started off in West Virginia and then came back to Ohio. But I started at the Sheriff's Department here in 1998, and then 2000 I switched over to the Soda County Adult Probation, which I had felony offenders.
Okay.
So for about 24 years, I did that, which taught me a lot of different things, because when I first started, it was more of a law enforcement type part of it. We went out, we did a lot of different things. And then at the end of my career, I was actually in the Intervention and Lieu program, which was more of a treatment-based program that we got people into treatment, through treatment. And if they got through their treatment, and within a 3-year period with Intervention and Lieu, their conviction basically they're not convicted of that crime, and it just goes away. The arrest is always there, but the conviction, they're never convicted of that. And that's when I really came in contact with Cardinal and other facilities around the area, in the treatment based of it. So that's how I got here, basically.
How does that, your background in law enforcement and being a probation officer, kind of flavor your view of this space and your job?
Well, my view just changed from the day that I started in law enforcement to the day I retired. But when I came here, to be honest with you, I was probably still jaded from the law enforcement aspect of it. I came here with a little bit type of advantage because I worked in Soda County, which Cardinal, the Portsmouth office is. So when I came here, I've dealt with most of our clients, our persons served. I've known a lot of the employees here from previous encounters with them. So when I came here, I probably was a little jaded, and I retired, I was just looking for something to do, and then I got here. And then I just started looking around, and I started watching, and I started seeing passion. I started seeing the look in people's eyes when that light goes off and they get it. I started seeing employees that I dealt with in the past, and where they were then and where they are now, and I've talked to some people about this, and I don't talk to a lot of people about it, but it's inspiring when you saw that. I was like a retired old man when I came here, and now I'm like a kid again. I want to come here. This is where I want to be. This is where I think I need to be. I think this is where I can do the most good right now. But there's never a day like when I wake up in the morning that I just say, "Oh God, I gotta go to work." I'm like, "All right, let's go," because it's always something different. Every day you come here is something different.
Isn't that incredible, though? Because starting out in law enforcement, Andy is seeing the worst of people in the worst of times. And now he's seeing the other side. Some of the same people that you saw and you see where they are now. How does
Right.
that feel? Can you maybe share some
Well,
examples? Or
a lot of them, when I got here, were already there. You just come in and you see that light. And they were, when I first came in, I mean, I'm sure it was like, oh God, Andy Race is coming here. They really weren't looking, but they're actually seeing another side of me too that they wouldn't have seen from an offender side.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just sometimes it's amazing of the changes and the things and the passion and the work ethic of people that. That's what amazes me here. That's what inspires me here. They inspire me to want to be able to help them, and that's a great motivation for me.
what caused that shift from you being, if I can stereotype, like there being on the sheriff's side, like busting the bad people, and now you're helping them grow?
It's hard to explain something like that changes you because it changed. The change was so quick. Like I said, when I came here, they brought me here as a court liaison, which basically is part of the admissions team. I did that for maybe a month, and then they put me into this position, and thank God they gave me Tyler and Tara to.
That's all right. We can take a pause. It's not live. If you need a quick thing.
No, but thank God they gave me Tyler and Tara. That wasn't my choice. They actually put us together because they saw what they have done in the past and their work ethic, and we came together. Me coming here, being the housing director, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. So I relied on them for so much information, and they relied on me for guidance and where we needed, and that's what brought that teamwork together. Is, you know, I needed them, they needed me. We all, and you know, that's what brought that. I don't know how else to explain that. Smiling at me, but she does this to me all the time. I don't know if I answered
So
your
back
question.
when you were on the side of law enforcement, and then you moved to the probation officer, where you're working with the court and basically telling these addicts, hey, you can either go to jail or you can get treatment.
When I started in law enforcement, and when I started with the probation department, there was, I think, one treatment facility here, and to be honest with you, the view of the courts at that time with treatment was not the same as it is now.
What do you mean by that?
I would tell you that when I first started in 2000, if somebody would come in and we would drug test them, they would test positive for cocaine, we would automatically have to put them in front of the judge for a revocation hearing, and more than likely the judge is going to send them to prison for one test.
Right.
That's changed dramatically. Even within the judges that I worked for here in Sauter County, their views and their philosophies changed, which in turn changed me some. And where I was in the intervention relief program, I had a lot of contact with a lot of different programs, so I knew kind of what was going on and what their programs were and what they were like, and I knew which ones were the assembly line programs, and I knew which ones were the individualized that actually, and there's some people that like the assembly line way, but I'm not one of them. And then you get how we are here and do an individualized plan, which is, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, but you know, the employees here do a wonderful job of doing it.
I saw a letter from the court yesterday here saying how they strongly recommend Cardinal Treatment Center. And it was a Chillicothe? But most of the time I would think, like, if I got a letter from the court, that's probably not a good thing. Well, how does it feel to get, I mean, I've never seen the court say, we really like working with Cardinal and how they improve people's lives.
It actually happens more than what you would think. Their views of us are important. And don't get me wrong, by them liking us and seeing the things that we've done and seeing where we've improved and seeing where we've grown. And I'm not talking size-wise, I'm talking about program-wise and of how we're doing things. You know, a lot of people's minds has been changing because we're doing stuff that's different. And we're doing things that probably a lot of people aren't doing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us different. That's one of the reasons, you know, when this came open, that I was willing to do this. I wouldn't have gone to just any program just to go work a job or whatever. I mean, I retired from my probation job at noon, and I was working at this job at 1 on the same day. So that's how quickly that went.
By choice.
Yeah.
This is what you want to do, even though you could have just retired.
I could have just retired and done nothing, but I mean, seeing where Cardinal was and what they wanted to do and their business plan and where they want to be and how they want to do things, yeah, you want to be part of that. Yeah. If you can be part of that, you definitely want to be part of it.
Yeah. So I'm excited this afternoon because Misty's going to take us to some of the other properties and see what the housing's like. But for those who haven't seen the housing, because you're the director of housing, what can people expect? I heard there's a personal chef here.
We do have a chef.
That's some high class stuff. Better than chicken nuggets and spaghetti.
There you go. The food that is delivered is really good, and we're different that way. Housing, there's several different types of housings out there. We have what we call a barndominium in 2 different places. We bought other houses that we've gone in and made it the way that we needed it to be for as far as housing like that, but it's just a regular house. And of course we have the lake house that's up there that's just serene and beautiful, and you just want to go up there and just lay back and look at the sky, and I mean it's quiet and nice. Yeah,
but not in December.
Well, no, but yeah, housing wise, we have our small houses, we have our bigger houses, we have our female and male houses, of course, and so.
Anything else people need to know about you, Andy, as a person?
No, not that I know.
He would never tell you that.
That's something you need to ask somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you.
That was good.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for sharing your story so we can see all the different people here at Cardinal and see that you could come from any kind of background, but the common theme you see is how much people care, which I think is so hard to find. And you know, any company you go to, anyone that you work with in whatever field, it's always about